Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me fine. Hey, hey. Welcome. I thought I'm gonna do something special for International Women's, I guess like month, and an International Women's Day tomorrow. So thank you everyone for coming. I'm gonna have a special guest very soon. I just want you to listen to this track. Please tell me you can hear me okay, so I know everything okay, because the internet can be a bit dodgy. Yeah. I want to wave at everyone who's waving at me right now. I've got concentration. I've got a laptop in one hand, mic in another. Yeah, thank you. Lots of hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you. Come in, come in. Come in. It's going to be fun for the next 30 minutes. Machine Woman Investigates. It's something Juno asked me to contribute to International Women's Day. And I said, I have an idea. So what you're hearing now, just trying to get my mic closer to the computer. Okay, this is my guest actually. This is the person I'm going to be interviewing for next 30 minutes, and let's see if she's in. Not yet. So, okay. My guest, Rose Bonica, is a live electronic act, music producer, and visual artist based in Cape Town, South Africa. And maybe a couple of years ago, I received a demo, well, kind of like an email. Oh, Rose is here. Just give me a second. So I received an email with very polite way asking me to listen to some music of this artist, and I was like, okay. So, and what I like when people send me is just the links, so you click and listen, and that's what I've done. And then I obviously didn't do any work for the next half an hour because all my concentration went to listen to this music, the production. I was like, who's this person? So a person is Rose Bonica, who is joining us as now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, view and go live. Waiting for Rose to join. How's everyone doing? I hope everything fine and good. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Rose. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit nervous.
You're
Now that it's
nervous?
real, I'm like, shit.
It's fine. It's like we had a chat yesterday on WhatsApp, you know, so it's like the same conversation, kind of the same, you know, the same idea and stuff. So, where are you now?
I'm at home in Hout Bay, which is like a small little bay in Cape Town. Just chilling in my studio.
Nice.
Yeah, being nervous. Yeah.
So then, it's okay, you know, like my hair is nervous, but anyway, let's never talk. I'm not gonna touch on that. And I've got my lads here, my coconut and a palm tree, so we're very excited. Everyone's excited to welcome you. And so this is about Machine Woman Investigates, and I'd like to ask you about your music production, you as an artist and as a singer. Also a visual artist as well. So let's start with talking about one of my favorite works of yours, Tears for the Tea Maker, which came out on your own record label, Roses Are Red, and that was sometime like mid last year.
Yeah.
So talk us through the
The album.
the whole idea behind it.
I mean, the album was like 2 years in the making, so it was just like slow, like ideas, but it's it's called Tears for the Tea Maker, which is basically a thing that I would say to my boyfriend in the morning, like, can you make tea for the tears? Like, you know, and it's just like me kind of leaving a bit of like club music vibes and, you know, like exploring myself more as an artist and becoming more vocal in my music production, using more of my vocals. And I think for me, also, it was just like letting go of a chapter of my life. And so when I released it, it was very emotional, you know, which, I mean, it goes with the title, Tears for the Tea Maker. So it was pretty perfect. I did spend the morning crying when I released it.
You wake up in the morning crying. You stop crying in the morning after you release this record.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is like the talking more kind of philosophical and creative output for what you've been going through, and this is like 2 year work, and it received critical acclaim because it was like mentioned in Guardian by Marcus Barnes. We love Marcus, and
Love Marcus.
I was talking about it. I've seen DJ Mag, and it's like it's appeared on many blogs, so people have taken notice of you. So this is like something to me as well. I think with vocal production, this is what, when you send me your music first time a couple years back, when I listened, I was like, no, hold on. Okay, this is one thing about me. I love vocals and electronic music, so it's like be it techno, experimental, avant-garde, and dance, house. I just adore this. So like to me, it was like, wow, like where's this person getting the samples from? And when I realized it's you. So on this album, there's quite a lot of vocal process. So please tell me how you do it, because I need to learn from you for sure.
I mean, it took me a few years to like get really confident about using my voice. But generally, I just close my eyes, light a cigarette, and just hope that something good comes out. You know, I'll like sit and record myself for like 10 minutes. Most of the time, it's me going, and then like eventually I'll have something. You know, now I've become more focused on it. So like I write notes in my phone all the time whenever I like think of like some cool lyrics. And so like the whole process has become a lot more focused, but I think I still like sit on the mic and just, you know, just hope that something good comes out of it. And then just generally slap a lot of reverb onto it so that I kind of feel a little bit more disassociated from myself. Yeah.
So it's
But I
like,
mean, your vocals in your songs are like really good. Like when you're just rambling on into the mic, like I love that with your tracks. And I think like I also, that was like really inspiring for me.
yeah, I think it's going, you know, like going, just letting yourself go. I realize a lot of producers take the whole process very, very seriously, and that's affecting the actual creative output. So when you're under so much pressure to create something and you want to sound like this label of that specific artist, and you almost like pressuring yourself, when you do that, it affects your creative output. So you don't play anymore, you kind of going by the spec. And I believe that makes the whole process, I don't know, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, like static in a way. So it's like takes the personality.
Sanitized.
Yeah, in a way. And sometimes it works brilliant and if someone like knows it, but maybe it's like the difference between producers who produce for like say pop bands and they can really like direct the artist when they do that. But when you artist doing it yourself in your studio, that becomes, you know, to switch off that thing and say, is the label gonna like it? Are anyone gonna release it? Or is it just like I'm doing it for pleasure in the first time? So we're talking about rambling, it's like completely, sometimes I make a track and I'm like, well, I need to find vocal samples. So I love samples and I'm hunt all over the internet for it. And then I'm like, oh, but it's like, you know, when you go on this like loop kind of websites and there's something like house 2000 and you go and it's just kind of the same house like vocals, and I'm like, yeah, it's not what it is. And so I try to do it myself, but I never really seen myself as a singer. But I believe you have more like of a singer background, like musical education.
Oh no, no.
Oh, well, you sound like you do. Like I was couldn't like 100%. I
I
was
think
like,
my like singing education is literally like me singing in the car when I was young and thinking that I sounded really good. And then I'd hit pause and carry on singing and I'd be like, oh my word, no, that is not what my voice sounds like in my head. It sounds really good. But like, I mean, I think also it came with like a bit more confidence. Like I don't try hit notes because I think I can be like really tone deaf. And I'm usually like just off the note that I'm listening to and I'm trying to replicate. Also, I'm a very heavy smoker, so like long notes are just like not an option.
mm.
But it does give you a really nice husky voice from smoking too many Marlboro Reds. Um,
You know, I love you, but I don't love smoking. I'll just
no,
put
I
it
know
out.
it's a very
I'll
bad
just
thing.
put it out there. But I'm not here to lecture you. Everyone makes one stand, but stop smoking. Anyway, so
Thanks, thanks.
and
Look, I've
so
cut down a lot in lockdown. Like, I've definitely slowed down.
that's very positive. I'm really happy to hear. I think a lot of time. I mean, I used to smoke and I used to love smoking, you know. And also when I lived in Berlin, when you go to clubs and pubs and bars and everywhere, it's like smoking allowed. So it's kind of like it was so accustomed to me to go and smoke 20 cigarettes and like just having like a drink with a friend. And then I stopped smoking as well in Berlin, and it's like I don't know how I do it, but maybe it's like maybe right time for, you know, the right reason and what have you. So coming back to vocal production, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna leave you on this one. Um, equipment. What do you use?
Okay, so I recently bought this, which I didn't use in my album, but I recently bought this.
Oh yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm
Have
still
you?
like figuring it out, but like so far, like I love the presets that already exist,
Yeah.
and it's really fun. And
Have you?
then I also have, yeah,
Have you played in the bands?
no, but that's always been my dream. But I think that's majority of our dreams is like I just want to be in a proper band, like rocking out
Rock
on
and roll
stage.
band.
Yeah.
Because that pedal is like a staple in a lot of like synth wave bands, and I have one too. But I've never been in a synth band. I've just been in many bands before I discovered electronic music, and that pedal, I adore it. It's like it's a beautiful thing. So you start with pedal, that's where you send your vocals to.
Yeah. And then I also have this micro Korg
Yeah,
XL, which has a vocoder. I just don't know where the mic is right now.
yeah.
But that's like so like the song that you started with, the whole video with that I have nothing to stress about. That was me just like singing on the vocoder on like little presets that I've made. You know,
Okay, so you
it's
send
definitely the
your
most useful
vocals.
little synth.
Yeah, so you send the vocals through, and then you record it into like your software. Like how does that process work? You know?
Yes, I just use it plugged into my sound card and then straight into Ableton. And then I do the same thing just like if I have a mic. Like I just sit and I record random things, speaking or singing into the microphone. I think one song from my album, what's it called? I'm ready, but they don't want me. It sounds like that's what I'm saying, but I think I was actually saying like there's no more space on my hard drive or like something like that. But because of the vocoder, it's like, like I definitely wasn't saying what I think I was saying. But because I named the track that, it kind of like puts it in your head and then,
Yeah.
that's what you hear.
It's a good to have this kind of mysteries behind the tracks, and sometimes people come up to me and say, "Oh, like, well, I guess more from my punk days." People say, "Oh, what you thinking about? It's very political." I'm like, I don't know. I think I was just saying something about having a sandwich because it's like you just like do it on the spot. I don't know, like, and then people like hear because yeah, it's like processed, and then that's what we hear, and it's like,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's like one of my favorite things is like so many songs that I listen to, like I make up my own lyrics. And then when I realize that, like, no, these are the lyrics, I lose my shit. Like, I'm like, no, I've been singing this for like 10 years, you know? So I like that's something I love about music. And also like how the voice can sound like different things and how the voice can sound like a synth, but it's actually like someone singing or, you know, like,
Yeah,
so
but
yeah, I like
post production. So yeah, talk us through the post production. So vocal goes in and it's inside the box, inside the door, which is your choice of door, Ableton, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it goes into Ableton. Okay, what do you do then? What's the magic? Tell me.
I mean, I have a few return tracks, and then I'll often like resample my vocals, just sending them into my send and return tracks, and then use those as like kind of harmonies and stuff. So like on those return tracks, it's like chorus, delay, reverb, and only because I don't like automation, so I like to make everything in audio because my
Hmm.
brain just can't like. Otherwise, I'll just sit fiddling for forever. Um, and then I used to often put like a duplicated vocal track at like minus, like a random minus semitone, like -7, you know, like totally off tune. But that used to be my thing. But then whenever I got the songs mastered, they'd come back to me and be like, ah, what is that low voice? I didn't know it was that loud, you know, like because it would be brought up in the master. So now I've learned not to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I like that technique as well. I really do like, kind of record one type of vocals or even like with any different samples and double lay it. And then yeah, pitch down and maybe pitch up or stretch. And it's like it's like, yeah, it's one of my favorite techniques. And I'm so glad you mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, like, and through the mastering, it's very interesting. Like then they say, oh, what was that? I didn't hear that. And I guess
yeah,
it's like whole the mastering process, which I've been learning with Josh from Telephone Tel Aviv. I was like, okay, let's do a session because I want to understand what mastering is, what mastering does. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm kind of already doing mastering, but like in a very strange way. But it's interesting. Sometimes masters come back to you and the sound changed and there's like something lost or something not there. And so it's very important to have like the master engineer who understands your sound. I find this can
yeah. So
be like,
that's what I'm like really lucky with. Jumping backslash. He masters all my music, and he's mastered my music from like when I first started. When like literally he would have me on a phone call like with me crying like I don't know how to mix my kick in so that you can master it properly. So like he's like gone with me like along the whole journey of like my music, my very short music career. So like when I send him a song or like an album to master, I don't really stress. Like I don't even really send him references because I know that he knows what I want. And like it's really nice to have that trust.
yeah, I agree. It's something definitely like important because it can be quite a painful process, especially if some labels work with just one specific engineer. So all the sound kind of becoming um, standardized to the label, and it's like, yeah, no, like so it's very important. You talk about that's exactly it, like trust, like developing trust with the master engineer or finding someone, especially now so many people say I'm mastering, and then in effect we're
Or they
just
do.
using a few a few apps which is just put it on and it's done. And I'm curious, have you used like online mastering services, like for example Landa or this, like SoundCloud start doing that service as well? Have any experience with that?
So yeah, like right in the beginning when I first started making music, like I just used Lander because like obviously like to me mastering was only for, you know, like an EP, which is, I mean, it's still like that now. But then I also just learned like, just throw like a saturator or whatever on it and then just turn it up and it's fine. Like I always found Lander to be a bit clangy.
Hmm, interesting. Clanging. I do use Landa. I like it. It's makes everything loud.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, that's what we.
yeah, so that's a good. So the process, okay, so this is that. Okay, next stage, composing music. Where does it start? Does it start before vocals? Does it start after in the process? Like the ideas coming.
So I wish I could answer that like properly. Like I wish I could say that I start somewhere, specific, but it always changes. Like some days I'm like, oh, okay, let me start with drums. Other days it's let me start with this. Let me start with vocals. Um, Sometimes I even just like start playing with like, pre-recorded like samples that I already have or old separates and stuff, and I just try and just to like get it going. But yeah, I don't have a specific. I wish I did because then maybe I'd be making more music at the moment. But
Yeah, you do your own practice. It's like every artist is so different, and making more music doesn't mean it's kind of gets you like gives you something like good or satisfaction. And I get that asked a lot about like the process. I make music every day, but that doesn't mean it's like more than half, 99.9% of that. I'm not going to show it to anyone because it's just like the ideas. But it's I like it's for me. It's like the process, but it's just more practice and developing my skills. It's like learning process. And there's one question that everyone asks: how do you know when track is finished?
you know, actually, luckily I live with another musician, uh, Deep Aztec, my boyfriend, and he's actually been the greatest resource in telling me when a track is finished. Otherwise, I'll just sit on it and like take a break from listening to it, go back, make another 100th version, take a break, go back, So that's one of my resources. Another resource for me is just when I'm like about to pull my hair out of frustration and like losing all hope, then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe the track is actually finished. Maybe I don't have to go through this whole like freak out.
Interesting. I'm very curious to find out about your influences, like musical influences. What's recently been spiked your interest, and especially if it's to do with like some vocalist. Maybe I'm really crappy at journalism. I'm like, I'm gonna direct someone to ask the questions I want. So I'm not. No, you don't have to like be biased like me, concentrating on vocals like anyone. But if anyone specifically you like the production of vocal sound, I'll be curious to find out.
So what are my, because you broke up a bit, what are my
Yeah.
influences?
Yeah, your
Okay, so
influences.
for the album, like my biggest influences at that time was Bjork and Sleaford Mods. Like those
Oh
are the
God,
two
really?
people that I listened to the whole time.
Do you know Sleaford Mods from Nottingham? Like that's where I'm based right now. And the guy, what's his name? Josh, I don't know, the lead singer. He's like
Jason.
Yeah. And he was a flatmate of this woman who rented a house, and at some point I moved in. He was not there, but apparently I had his room. So, like this is the connection. This is like 5 degrees of separation from Sleaford Mods. Machine Woman used to live in the same room, but not at the same time, the same period. Then when Jason from Sleaford Mods.
Yes, Jason.
Yeah, but,
yeah. I remember seeing
like
that you were also a fan, and like I remember saying to my boyfriend, I was like, oh, Machine Woman also likes Sleaford Mods. You see, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track.
Yeah, good lads. Definitely good lads. Interesting project. And I remember when they were coming out, they were playing gigs, and a lot of people like seen as a joke band. But then the more it become momentum, the more people start like looking behind it. It's actually like, it's pretty like deep with
It
lyrics
is
and
like,
just gives you something like, I don't know, like instant satisfaction in a way, but it's also like just, I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe it's the fact that not taking themselves serious, but like presenting the serious music. I don't know
yeah.
that's how it is. It's something like very attractive, Because a lot of times I think,
Their
especially
interviews, their
in techno,
interviews.
carry on.
So I was saying their interviews are also like really, really great. And that's also what like made me fall in love with them even more. Like, and watching their live performances is just, I mean, that's mind blowing. Like, they're both, I can't remember the other guy's name, it's Jason and the producer. And he's always on stage with Jason with the laptop in front of him and a beer in his hand. And like, that to me is like the ultimate live performance. And like, it's such a big fuck you to like the whole like, oh, we need all the band members on stage and da, da, da. And there's just like two guys, one guy like literally hitting play on the laptop. Like, it's fucking genius.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's fun. It's definitely fun, and you know, hopefully you'll come to England soon after. I think maybe the end is near at some point near future, and we're gonna meet in real life, and you can come to Nottingham, and maybe we're going to see Sleaford Mods like play like
Oh,
local,
that
and
would
we have
be
a
such a
pint,
dream.
you know, together while like watching Sleaford Mods play. So I think like this is one of my goal, my wish, I guess, for 2021 to have a pint of Rose Bonica at Sleaford Mods gig somewhere in the world, somewhere, you know, anywhere will do. But I mean, in Nottingham, that would be great. But if not, I'll settle for, you know, for town. I'll go down. Which is like, I'm so like, this is one place I haven't, well, not one place. I haven't actually been to many places, but it's a place I definitely would love to visit because it's like the music scene and following you and like seeing everything coming out. It's like you definitely have some very, very exciting scene. There's a record label. No, there's a lot of record labels. There's a record store, right, in Cape Town. Oh,
Reconnect. I'm going to
frozen a
reconnect.
bit. Did you hear what I said?
No. Should I reconnect?
No, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think we oh, maybe we'll reconnect. Okay. We get like Rose Bonica back on. It always happens. I don't know. If someone got like some good recommendations how to have a stable internet connection when you do online, please let me know. Okay. Let's see. Go live with Bonica. Rose Bonica. Okay. Give us a second. This has been behaving pretty good today, actually. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, who's from Nottingham? Someone's shouting out. I'm from Nottingham. From Nottingham. I can't even speak now. Oh, it's gone up. You know, I'm too worried to touch the phone and scroll it.
Any of the buttons.
Yeah, so anyone who's like waving, I did it first when I was like, I'm not touching my phone, just the thing. So thank you so much for everyone tuning in and rewatching it. Oh, me. Highly nourished music. Okay, that's probably excellent. I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke and say that that's a Sleaford Mod guy, but you know. So
nice of you to join us.
Yeah, Nottingham is great. There's also like a little scene happening. Oh, quite big scene. They're like mini promoters and labels, and yeah. But yeah, my question was, so the scene in South Africa and Cape Town, that's where you know you based, like the city you living in right now. It's like yeah. So and there's a record store. I'm very curious about that record store. I keep seeing the God, where is my
other.
Yes. We keep breaking up, right?
Yeah. No, it's terrible. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was asking like people if anyone can give us advice about how to make stable Instagram live stream, but I guess I wouldn't know. But if anyone knows, please let me know. Okay, so we've been chatting for a while and it's very fun, but I just wanted to make sure this is like half an hour session and you know not too pressure on you as well, because I've got literally millions of questions to you about everything from the artwork you do to the music to other people, whoever you like. That's where I think yeah. God, a lot of like in my head, and I think once you get disconnected, it's kind of everything like comes out. But before we went live, okay, hopefully, give us a second. Okay, you're still here. Okay, good. Every time you freeze,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, don't go. So before we go, and before we started this live stream, I asked you to show me around your studio, and what you did, you actually showed me outside your window, which I went, oh my God, you have to show it to everyone. So let's
Okay.
show it as a like our closing, I don't know, closing article to this online live Machine Woman Investigates with Rose Bonica, where you now and what it looks like.
Okay, so this is my view.
Okay, 1 second. We're getting connection. Okay, nearly wait.
Can you see?
It's worth it. Yeah, we can see it now. Okay, hold it there. Okay, so everyone, this is what Rose Bonica looks at when she creates her incredible, beautiful music. This is the view. This is her studio, and that's where she wrote the record. And it's absolute. It's like when I saw it, I was like, yes, please take me there. And it's beautiful, and I want to be there. And thank you so much. This, yeah, you can put it away now because it's like it's too much. It's too good. Thank you so much. It's very beautiful. It's also very interesting to see how, where producers make the music, how the inspiration comes, and the whole studio and setup. And I think not to piss the gods of internet and the live streaming any longer. And I just want to say thank you so much for letting me interview you, ask you maybe awkward questions. I don't know. I'm still learning. And showing us your equipment, your studio, talking through your production, vocal production, especially for me, and showing us the beautiful view from your home. And just thank you so much. And I'm going to post all the links to your music, everyone should follow Rose Bonica. Everyone should get on the sound of Rose Bonica. And I love you. Oh, okay. Just before, I got too emotional, and oh, she's back. Yeah, I just said I love you, so just
Oh, I love you very much.
And then it was like took me off, and I'm like, oh, maybe too much, Anyway, thank you, and happy International Women's Day, week, year, years, life to everyone. Thank you for supporting women, and anytime, every day, not just one day a week, one day a year. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rose. Thank you.